Pine Creek residence. This is the first redwood model that I've done a video inspection for. There's some interesting differences for this one that I want to go over, as well as some of the common items that are being found. I first have 3 reminder arrows to talk about. The first one is for the drip edge. We're going to replace this white drip edge brand new with your new roof. The second one is to talk about, look at all the granules that have washed off the roof and are now laying in the gutters. So I'm going to talk more about the granules in just a second. And then the third one is about the gutters themselves. The gutters are in good shape. We typically do not even need to drop them to the ground. We just gently pull these away from the roof. We slip in the new drip edge and we can reinstall the gutters without even taking them to the ground. So that keeps them in very good shape. Before I even got off the ladder, I start looking for what's called lift up. And here's a perfect example. When these poor guys lose the bond, the seal on the back of the shingle, it keeps flopping around until it eventually breaks off. And there's some really more extreme examples over there that have been that way for quite some time. So back to the granules, you can see a lot of the granule loss. You can actually see the matting on the shingle itself. The granules are, in every sense of the word, the sunblock for your house. So when you lose the granules, when they wash away like that, all the protective chemicals in the asphalt shingles leach out, and the shingles become very extraordinarily brittle, just like these. And so that's when they start fracturing and then breaking off. These are nail pops, so the nails are starting to wiggle themselves out of the back of the shingles and through the shingles. By the way, we're gonna reboot all the bathroom vents. We're gonna replace all the gooseneck style vents. Well, the thing that I found most alarming about this roof is you seem to have extraordinarily large amount of soft plywood. So especially in this area right here, I really hope that you can see that in the video. We're going to talk more about the plywood and how we're going to replace it in a moment. Kind of working around here. Here's more. Look at these poor guys. They're literally just kind of hanging on by a thread. Over here, definitely received the brunt of a lot of storm, wind-driven damage. These are called hinge marks. So these poor guys have been flopping around that whole section. So it's just gonna break off right there. Same with here. There's been a little bit of patchwork, but what they didn't resolve is that there is some extremely soft wood right under that area. So we're gonna take care of that as well. And then coming over here, we have these off ridge vents. You might have heard me talk about these before. We're gonna get rid of these. I'll talk more about that in a second. Here's more of the lift up. You can see the shadow that it casts. That's how it's so easily identifiable. Of all the homes that have had new roofs put on, and there's about 8 or 9 now, not including the last couple weeks, every one of those homes, the companies have removed these off ridge vents and they've replaced them with top ridge vents, low profile ridge vents. Much better. These, in every sense of the word, are 4-foot open windows into your attic. So it's widely accepted that these should absolutely be removed. The plywood will be replaced, and then the top ridge vent will be installed. That's going to prevent a lot of water from coming in. No surprise that there's more soft wood. Oh, you can even hear it cracking in this area right here. Let's talk about the wood. So I don't know if it's just a redwood model or just coincidence, but this roof is the first roof that's had a tremendous amount of damaged wood, or at least very suspect softwood. Typically, with our estimates, we provide 100 square feet of free wood replacement with your project. That's usually more than enough to cover this little area or that little area. What will become the norm for Florida native dealing with Pine Creek residents, I'm going to absolutely assure that there's not going to be any extra charges related to plywood replacement. So this house is probably going to be 200, maybe even 300 square feet of plywood replacement, but we're not going to charge extra. And you can thank your neighbors for that, because that's the power in numbers. Because of the 4 houses that I've been on, there's only been moderate to no wood damage whatsoever. So consider this a cooperative effort in how you each are pulling and helping each other. So I'm making it policy until until told otherwise, that we're not going to charge extra for plywood, even over 100 square feet. Like this roof is probably 300 square feet. So I hope you find that as pleasing as I do. More of the same. Whoa, really soft right here. More of the lift up. And then more wear here and more softwood here. You probably heard me talk about it, but real quick, this is how Florida Native is going to do your roof. Imagine this with me. We're going to remove all the shingles, get down to the bare plywood. This area, those areas in the back, this area. We're going to replace that plywood, and we're not going to charge you extra for it. Again, thank your neighbors for that. That bare plywood roof, after we restore the wood, we're going to replace the plywood under here. We're going to get rid of these off ridge vents. We're going to re-nail this roof to code. So the code says place a new nail holding your plywood to your roof trusses every 6 inches. We're going to go every 4 to 5. We're going to double, triple the number of nails holding the plywood to the roof trusses. And then we're going to install what's called waterproof barrier, peel and stick, you probably heard of. And then we're going to put your 30-year architectural shingles on top of that. Currently, the only approved shingle is GAF Timberline. It's a very good shingle, but there are 2 other shingles that are going to be approved on April the 8th. So you can, if you want, have the CertainTeed shingle as well. I'm just going to leave this brief and then get down and talk with the homeowners. Thank you.